Joe Mullenix,
Here.
Dave Moon,
Here.
Jonathan Moon,
Here.
Kathleen Plotho, absent, and Dennis C., absent.
All right. Reading improvement of the previous month's minutes. Would you guys like the minutes reread, seeing that this is a tabled matter? Or would you just like to press on?
I'm fine with waiving the reading of the minutes, thank you.
Other party?
That's fine.
You're okay with that?
Yes, sir.
I make a motion, we dispense with the reading and approval of the minutes.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay, old business. The undeveloped lot, or the proposed roadway. Anything else either party would like to say at this time on this?
Yes, I have some paperwork.
Okay,
Comes directly from the title company. May I approach?
sure. Standard, please state your name.
Billy Sue McKinley, Susan McKinley. We live at 1746 South Riverview Road.
Okay.
This came from the title company. Please keep in mind that the title company is insured, licensed, and bonded by the state of Indiana. So, can I give you guys this piece of paper?
Sure.
Okay, you guys have to share it, I only got 2 copies.
Fair enough.
So basically what it just says is that that was a future road to be developed for Wabash River Estates. That property is no longer a part of Wabash River Estates, so it's really not a road. If it was a road, it would be named, the city would maintain it. It's not a road, so it's technically our property and the Martin's property, so. Anyways, I called the title company and they wrote that up, so. Do with it and take it as,
Whose property is it?
it's mine, and it's the Martin's. It's in the,
According to whom?
according to that paperwork. You'll be able to see it.
You
And I have
just, you
that-
just said it wasn't River Valley Estates anymore. But did they
The
give it
back-
to you?
The back property.
I'm talking about the roadway part.
It's in my deed. It's right there in that
And
paperwork.
they've got it in a copy of their deed.
Yep, right there.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. I
Yeah.
didn't, you
The-
just
the-
said that it was yours now, and I didn't know
It
who
has
appointed
been.
it. Okay,
It was a future road
I
for
understand that
that
part.
land back behind my house to build there. That property is no longer a Wabash River Estates.
mm-hmm,
It's agricultural.
I
So
understand.
that was a road for future development. But that's not the case anymore.
I understand that, but then who gave you property? It wasn't part of River Estates before, as a road?
No.
Whose was it?
The field is what Susie's
I'm
saying
talking
is
about the
no
field.
longer.
I'm talking about the right-of-way, that's what's in discussion, right? I just want to know how you got the property. Who gave it the property, your half and your half? Who give you that?
It's in my deed. That is my property. It was
When you
certified.
bought it, you got a deed to it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. That is my property.
Okay, this road, this proposed road was for future use, okay?
Yes, but there's not anything back there to build
I
now.
understand that, but my point is, who give you the right to your half and their half? Wabash River Estates?
I'm guessing.
Well, that's what's in question.
That was how the land, the lots were
Parcel
plotted.
And
When
it's
you,
not,
when on
How long
our,
have you had your property?
It'll be a year in July. This past July we've had it.
and ours is 21 in July.
Okay, now,
To me, if I own that and it has deeded to me and I've had it surveyed, I don't understand why somebody else has permission.
Well, that's
to come onto
what's
my
in
property.
question, whether it's yours or not. That's the whole question, in our part.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's
yeah, and
what I don't understand, how you got a hold of it, since you've only been there a year.
I mean,
What give the right to them? That's what I'm saying.
in other
If
words,
it's legally yours on paper, that's fine. I got
The
no
same
problem.
way it doesn't give somebody else the right to have access to my property that is mine. I mean, I
Understand.
maintain that road. The city doesn't maintain it.
I understand that.
My neighbors don't maintain it. I maintain it.
But you've been there a year. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Regardless, I still paid for that. My loan includes that.
Okay.
the argument here is that that is an easement to that property behind, whether it belongs to Wabash Valley Estates or not.
I mean, it doesn't.
Well, I understand that, but that really has nothing to do with it, because at this point, the owner of that property has absolutely no access to his property.
No,
That's not accurate.
Okay, there, he has an easement, which is just merely an agreement with that other property down there to be used that for access to his farm, for farming and so on. And on top of that, if I'm not mistaken, that property isn't even, and I checked on this, and Haley told me this, that that property as it stands right now is not even listed as agriculture.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I'm sorry, I
on
don't
Zillow,
recall.
it's listed
Didn't you, okay, but didn't you look it up the other day when I was in the office and you said it was listed R, not A?
It might have been, I don't want to say for sure.
Either way. This being a proposed road that the city never unproposed, it left the city as, well, actually the county, we're an agent for the county at this because this is in the 2-mile zone, left that open for future use.
Sorry.
And, yeah, no, everybody does that. Left it open for future use. So, and seeing that nobody actually came and got it closed, and we can't actually block an area to somebody's property and not deny them access to it. See where I'm going with this?
But they have access
Except,
to River Road.
Fair enough, okay.
Through the
And-
woods.
and my
Through
question-
the woods, it's.
Well,
quarter
yeah,
mile.
I looked at that
That's-
property, I don't even see an access anywhere along there.
See, that's the whole legal point.
It was an old
We're involved
utility
in
access
something
at
we
one
don't
point.
have a say-so on right now.
my thinking,
It's true.
my question is that he's trying to use the perpetual easement, which I understand. But doesn't that stop when the people that have that easement on their property, on their title deed, doesn't it stop when he's told that we no longer want him to do that?
That's a legal question that I don't know the answer to.
See, that's
Because
what
we
I'm
told
saying.
him in
This is legal. This
2003,
is not.
we told him in 2004, I have an email from the Realtor that wanted to buy 50, well, not buy, because they didn't want to pay anything, wanted to use 50 feet off our property, our 25-foot easement, and then 25 off of ours, so they could build houses back there. Not one house, multiple houses.
Sure.
And then
Which
you-
is fine, but they don't want to compensate anything for that. Well, I can't just go sell 25 feet off of my property. I mean, that's what I'm paying for. I mean, it's in there.
Take a minute and read that paper from the title company. I'll say that those underwriters are lawyers that go through this stuff, and they're pretty straightforward about it.
I think it's just, he knows we don't want him to use it. It's not that we've just laid silent all this time.
He profits and we pay.
Well, but no, I
Profit, he
mean,
just gets access.
if you take it down to simple logic, Mr. McMinn gets money from the farmer to rent the field, correct?
Okay.
Well, the farmer gets credit or money when he sells his crops. We're left with a dirty, disgusting, broken down driveway that is dangerous when, our grandkids are out there playing, they pull grass and dirt.
But, I mean, again, you go back to what the title company's got on the line here. It's not a right-of-way.
It's an easement.
It's an easement for a future road. He has access to his property for an agriculture easement, which he stated last month, that they had used it previously. It's just overgrown. So we have a strong difference of opinion.
And I understand that they want to use our property because we maintain it. That's out of our pocket. And I understand that maybe cleaning out that right-of-way that he has from River Road, that's a big expense for him. Well, I'm sorry about that, but it's not fair to the
Question is,
properties that we
it's still an
own,
easement.
I understand.
that we are
That's,
having to
but
do
like,
that.
nobody can answer that.
I don't know if
I was just trying to look at all sides of this, so.
I mean, we understand, I know that it's terrible, but would you like to see the email from the Realtor?
If you'd like to present it, absolutely.
It does us no good. It doesn't us no good because we can't rule on this.
It's
We
not,
cannot.
all we're gonna do is pass it to the city council anyways. We're just gonna make a recommendation at this point.
Well,
I understand.
I take a vote on
I understand where you're coming from.
But like I said, there's nothing that we can do. If you want to take a vote
I
on
don't have any copies.
giving it to them, yeah, I'll take a vote. This is just all
I just want them to
academic.
have their say. You understand where I'm coming from?
Well,
Yeah, I know that.
I mean, I guess I'm just appealing to, it's just, if you want to go down to fair or not, it's just not fair. That's not what our title deed says. When we have our deed, it shows the 25-foot easement for future street. We're paying for that. So
you're paying for it?
we are paying for yes, we are. Let me find, I'm sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained.
So
right
you're telling me it's still an easement?
Yes.
No,
They've got,
It's
But it's for-
a future,
It's still an easement.
they've got a
For a
It's
driveway.
still an easement, right?
it's
That's what I'm saying.
Honestly, if you take that, if he takes that away from Susie, she'll have no way to get in her driveway, or up to her garage. That'll be her only drive. But I can't find it.
If it's legally still an easement.
For a future road. It's not a current road.
Okay,
This city does
Would you
not
like this?
maintain that.
That's our
The city abandoned that when they.
I understand that, but if it's an easement, legally an easement, it's still an easement.
Honestly, I don't know.
For anybody.
But there's nothing back there.
It doesn't matter. If it's an easement, it's still an easement.
You gonna maintain it?
Why should I maintain it?
If it's
The
a, if
city.
it's a road.
The city gonna maintain it?
It's just like, if it's an easement, I got a right to drive on it to go back to that other property and look at
That
it, if I
road was
want.
designed to go by our properties, and off of that, perpendicular to that.
See, that's why we're arguing,
Where our
because
driveway
nobody can tell me if
is.
it's an easement or not.
And,
And that's why we can't judge them.
it does say an easement on our, on
Well, that's
the
what I'm
paperwork.
saying, it's still an easement.
But it
It's not
says-
legally yours or theirs, you still got an easement access
Even though
to
it's
it.
on our deed. It
Right.
says that it's an easement.
It's still an
for-
easement.
Correct, I understand
That's
it's
what
an
I'm saying.
easement. But it's for a future street is how it's written.
It's an easement, it's an easement. Whether it's for a future, anything.
But the title company will not title that property.
And we
It's right.
can't,
That's fine. They don't have to.
but we can't sell our house with.
But you're wanting us
because
to,
it's
you're wanting
allowed-
us to do away with the easement. That's what you're wanting us to do.
yes.
Yes,
But like I say, if it's an easement now, the city is the one in charge of the easement.
so then, but have you, I mean, just, if you're in charge of it, why does my driveway look like
Then
that?
improve it.
I mean,
Tell them to
not only
maintain it.
does,
Improve it.
not only does it stop at a portion,
You're your citizen.
he goes all through that and then through the grass and stuff back. There's a mess. So if it's the city's, shouldn't the city maintain it instead of me?
Yes, if it is the city's, yes.
Actually, this is the 2 miles.
You're taking the maintenance on yourself.
So that means that we should have just not done any upkeep on the
It's-
the driveway at
If
all?
there's an easement, somebody's got to use it. You see what I'm saying? Just
No,
because you're taking
I see
care
what
of
you're
it.
using, or saying.
But you're trying to get us to do away with the easement to get rid of it.
Because it's not
That's
going to
what
be
you're saying.
used for its original purpose. It doesn't benefit Wabash River Estates, it benefits Mr. McMinn.
But it's still an easement.
The property owner back there. That's the point that he's trying to make. What's this? Oh, it's the deeds with the,
I still say we ought to table this. I mean, because you guys still got a suit going on, right?
No.
no, it hasn't gone to that yet.
No,
No.
if,
And I don't want it to.
vacated, then a suit would be filed, so.
If what? I'm sorry.
Well, I'd just
If
take a
it
vote
gets
to pass it on
vacated,
if that's
it would
what you
be
want. The city council. If that's what you want.
First off, this is technically in the 2 mile zone. So it's owned, although the city does the planning commission stuff and so forth, the county is actually responsible for the property.
Okay.
Okay, so we got to, it's one of those real gray areas there,
Okay.
okay? We, again, are an advisory board. All we're going to do is advise the city council of the findings that we have made. And that will happen, after we talk about it tonight, that will happen Monday night at 6 PM, at which time you will also have a chance to appeal to the city council and tell them that. One of our dilemmas here is, no matter which way we go, we know that if we, and again, this is not, we're merely an advisory council,
Right.
but if the city council was to go ahead and say, yes, we're going to open the road to allow access, then you're going to court. Because they're going to take you to court because it's blocking the property. You see where I'm going with this? this isn't something that's going to get actually settled here, unfortunately for you guys. And I completely understand. I mean, we understand both sides of this. This is a very strange and pain in the butt situation for everybody involved, for you guys. I understand that. I'm just sorry that something couldn't have been worked out between you guys, so this all didn't come about. But I wouldn't know how to do that, so.
I'll just wait for your phone papers.
I'm ready. Yeah. This one.
If I may just speak
You-
briefly.
Feel free.
I really don't want to beat a dead horse here. I know that there's been substantial evidence and information that's been presented to the Plan Commission at the last meeting. Just to help refresh everybody's memory, for the McKinley's property, there was a reserved easement 25 feet in width, and that was retained by Mr. McMinn. So that's not even part of the road. The road that's at issue is 25 feet wide, that is across the Martin's property, and it's a platted road. According to the statute as to how roads are platted, if it's in the plat and it's gone through the proper procedures and it's been accepted and recorded, then that road is there for public use. Mr. McMinn has used that road for access to his fields back there for farming for 20-plus years. To reiterate, that old easement by River Road has been overgrown and it's not wide enough to accommodate modern day farm equipment and hasn't been adequate to accommodate farm equipment for the 20-plus years. That's why his cash rent tenant farmer has been using this platted road for the last 20-plus years. Indiana law also establishes that if a road is continuously used by the public for access, even if it's not a platted road, if it's used continuously for at least 20 years, then it is established as a public road. And so even if the city were to vacate that road, we've already established by use and by statute that that road still exists. You've heard the Martins here indicate that, well, what do they get out of this? Well, you know, this is a public road. It's available for anybody's public access, and they're confusing a public road versus their private property that they own in fee simple. Fee simple means you own it completely. There are no easements over it. There are no roads over it. Similarly, the McKinleys are also confused when they're saying that they own the property. They own their property subject to that 25-foot wide easement. They wouldn't own their property if that easement had not been part of the deal. And again, I don't want to take up more of your time. This is clearly based upon the statute. My client it would incur $50,000 or more to try and open up that agricultural access. But he's not required to do that. And clearly under the statute, we timely filed the remonstrance, and we qualify for a successful remonstrance under 3 of those 4 categories that I included in the statute that I presented to the Planning Commission at the last meeting. This is a private matter. This is not a public matter. Really, at this point, we are asking that the Planning Commission not put this off for another month. I think we all know that the inevitable outcome is that the road cannot be vacated. If the City Council does vacate that, the statute allows us to recover damages, and that certainly is not in the best interest of the city to incur that additional cost. Thank you for your time.
Anybody else? Any questions from the board? Okay, we'll take a vote to close the road or not close the road. Yes would be not close the road. Leave the road open at this point. A yes vote would mean that, okay? Roll call.
James Comerford,
Sorry, did you say yes, would
Yes,
be
would
not
be
to
to-
close the road?
Leave the road open.
Leave it as is. Yes is that we leave everything as it is.
Okay. Yes.
Rick Day,
Yes.
Joe Mullenix,
Yes.
Dave Moon,
Yes.
Jonathan Moon,
Yes.
Okay, this will go to the city council next Tuesday at 6 PM.
Monday.
Sorry, my bad. Next Monday at 6 PM, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Either way, this would have gone to the city. No matter what we vote, it'll still go to the city council because they have the final say on this. We're just going to advise them one way or the other. This one sucked. This one definitely sucked. All right. Our next piece of business here. This proposed ordinance change here to amend the ordinance. Who's going to speak on this?
Bill.
In the ordinance, it's
Come on up here, Bill.
on the swimming pool.
Come up here to the podium,
Come up,
please.
okay.
You get to move.
In the zoning ordinance on the swimming pools, it states that you have to have a 50-inch fence around, you have to have a cover that's secured on rollers that rolls over and locks so nobody can get in the pool. All right, swimming pool codes is in the Indiana 2020 residential code and in the 2012 swimming pool code. And under that, it states for the building department that you have to have 42 inches of water to be a residential pool. An underground pool is 52 inches, so that, and they changed the code to where you only have to have 48 inches of barrier to keep the kids out. So it's not the responsibility of the zoning department to do building department's work. And that's the reason I asked for this to be removed and put back to the building department.
Run that last part by me just one time again.
Okay.
Just the last part, about the zoning and building department.
Okay. The zoning department is responsible for the location of the pool, whether it's on ground or in ground.
Right.
That it meets the code for setbacks as an accessory structure.
Yes.
All right, as far as the fencing and as far as the cover, the secure a pool, that's under the building department.
Building department.
So,
So what you're asking is that we just remove those two pieces?
I would remove that from the
Remove the whole swimming pool part, 151.066F. Just
Okay.
remove that.
And then the setbacks just fall under our normal setback stuff?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
That's why I took, when I was reading, it didn't make
The way
sense.
this code is written now, there's 5 different substitutes in the swimming pool code. Like an on-ground pool, they're 52 inches tall, so they meet the barrier for a 48-inch fence. You can have a 48-inch fence around all your property, and that meets the code as long as there's no toe holes for little kids to get into. If you have a deck, if you have a window or a door that faces the pool, they all have to be alarmed. So in case somebody comes out, you know they're out there. Above ground pool, you have 2 ways of closing those off for kids. You have an A-frame ladder that you put in when you're pooling, swimming, and then when you get out, you take that ladder out and lay it down on the ground, because I'd like to see a little 2-year-old big enough to put that up back in the pool again. The other way they have it is they have a ladder on the inside and outside, but the outside ladder folds up completely and locks.
Right.
And the kids can't get to that either way. So all of that's in the 2 codes I mentioned tonight, and it should be where it is.
Don't need 2
In the building
agencies
department.
dealing with the same stuff. Okay. Anybody else got any questions? I make a motion, we amend it.
Second the motion, roll call? Yes would be an amendment.
James Comerford,
Yes.
Rick Day,
Yes.
Joe Mullenix,
Yes.
Dave Moon,
Yes.
Jonathan Moon.
Yes.
Okay, any other business for the Plans Commission? I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.